Hello and welcome to the first episode on the Construct2 series that I'm going to be making. Today I'm going to be making a quick look to the Construct2 interface and the way Construct2 is programmed. Okay, the first thing that you should know is that there are different kinds of programming, and Construct2 uses event-oriented programming. So this is something I'm going to be explaining later. Event-based programming, okay? And of course we are going to have a quick look at the program itself. Okay, so without further ado, here we have Construct2. Okay, this is an empty project. As you can see, there's nothing. Well, it's not even an empty project, it's the empty window. So first thing that we need to do is to create a new project. Okay, I'm choosing a new empty project here. Okay, now we have here the general layout of the program itself. So on the left side we have the properties tab, where you can see the properties of the project right now. On the center here, here we have the main layout. It's what we are going to be seeing in the game itself. To the right we have the projects that are open right now. I like to use only one open project so I don't get confused between them. Here, this part right here, we have the layouts and event sheets that are opened right now. Okay, and then we have on top several other windows that several other options that we might consider. So what happens if you don't have any of these windows here? Imagine that you have something like this. You go on the game itself and you see nothing. So the things you need to be viewing in the program is the status bar on the bottom, to have some information about the coordinates that are displayed right there. Okay, then you need to see the properties tab, which is probably the most important one, the project bar, the layers, okay, and the objects. That's the most basic interface that you can have here. So we have created a project. We have seen more or less how the information is displayed to us in the program itself. So now let's configure some things. Here, if you click the new project right there, okay, you can see the properties of the project. Okay, click new project, and now you can see the properties here. So the first thing that we can notice is that our project is named new project, so we should rename it like tutorial 0. Here we can input a version number. It usually doesn't matter, but try to stick to a known version numbering. For example, for very minor upgrades, for major upgrades, and if you rebuild something or change something important, you can change the first number. So then we have a descriptions for a project. Okay. Example. Quick look into Construct2 basics. Okay. Then the ID. This is made to work like the Android or Java ID. So here you have to, as you can see, for example, com.mycompany.myapp. So in my case, it would be com.nuvogames.tutorial0. Okay. Author myself, the email, the website. Okay, common information. Oops, misclicked. Click here again. Okay. So, some important things here. Here we have the first layout of the game. Okay, each layout is like a menu or game or level, anything like that. Okay, you can have several layouts. That will come later on as an important thing here. Then the most important thing is the window size. You can change the width and the height here, or you can change the whole thing right here. So for example, I believe something like this was the SNES size, or this is the default for 4:3 aspect ratio in all the computers. There are a lot of things that you may want to input here. I recommend going for 800 times 600 by default. It's something that usually works in every platform. You can change to 600 times 800 if you need to have a vertical display. This usually works. It's small enough to do pixel art and to have like small graphical glitches without being noticed too much. So here, if we go a little bit below, we have the orientations. Here we can have the orientations in portrait or landscape. Okay, the difference. Let me go to my drawing program here. Okay, we have these two main ways of showing the information. Okay, you can either have a landscape or a portrait orientation. Okay, just choose anything you want. It's better to predefine the orientation before doing anything else. Okay, it's very important for a game to have the window size and the orientation defined before actually making assets for the game. Okay, in this case I'm going to be using landscape, for example. Okay, then we have some more information, but we are not going to be using it right now. Okay, so next thing here. So here we have the layout and the event sheet. Okay, the layout is where we are going to be putting our objects, and the event sheet is where we are going to code the game itself. Every action that takes place in the game should be represented in some way in the event sheet. So I'm going to be making a quick example here, and then I'm going to be explaining a bit about event-oriented programming. So a quick example would be adding a new object. Okay, you can use right click, and here you can insert a new object. You will be shown with this small form to choose the object you like. The most common one is the sprite. Okay, is anything, most of the graphical assets or graphical representations of anything in our video game, it's sprite. Okay, we also have text and type background as the second most common graphical things, but the sprite is usually the main dish here. So I'm going to make a player. Okay, as you click, you get this thing to edit images. You can load your own. I haven't made anything for this example, so I'm going to use the default brush and things that I have here. I'm going to make a simple ball. Okay, so that's my player here, and then I'm going to put the player here, and then I'm going to be adding a floor. Okay, some thing that might happen to you is that floor is as you can see, is a reserved name for construct mathematical operation floor. So you can just type floor sprite. Okay, so my floor sprite would be a brown square. Okay, so then I can click on play. Okay, and as you can see, the view is completely white. So what has happened here? Okay, the main problem that we've encountered is that this gray line right here is the actual viewport. Okay, so we will only be seeing things that are in that particular place. So if we put the player on the floor right there and click play, okay, we can see they on the right side. Okay, just as we can see here. So Construct enables us to make some quick things to set up the game. So first I'm going to downscale the player using shift so it stays like a ball, and I'm going to be making the floor something like this. Okay, going to put the player on the left side. Okay, then again. Okay, it does work. So okay, if we want to make things quick, we can go to the behaviors and add some behaviors that are predefined in Construct. So for example, here it shows the player, and I'm going to add a movement behavior, which is the platform, which enables to jump and run between platforms, solid objects. Okay, now I have some basic movement on the screen. Okay, I'm pressing F5 to reload the scene. Okay, as you can see, the player goes through the floor, but that's something we don't want to be happening. So again, if we click on the floor and choose behavior, we can have a solid behavior. Okay, as you can see in the platform, any platform is taken as solid objects. Okay, so any solid object will make the object impassable, and okay, objects cannot move or pass through it. Okay, so we add that. Okay, these steps in Construct2 are very simple. So now we have a player that falls, and if I use the arrow keys, I can make the player move and so on. It doesn't go smooth, but I think it's because the recording is taking too much CPU, but that's okay. So that's more or less a quick look into Construct's basics. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to address is how Construct actually works as a programming tool. Okay. So whenever we are programming anything, what we have is data. Okay. Any computer every computer program has data. Okay, in this case we have player. The player has its own coordinates in the space. He moves, he falls, he has speed. Anything like that is data, information. So with that information we can do actions. Okay, that's the main thing here, and that actions can alter the data. Okay, for example, you have a player which is a set of information that can jump. Making a jump makes the player move, so the player itself changes the data inside it. So what's special about Construct is that actions only occur as a result of an event. Okay, so whenever some event happens, we take an action that might change or not the data, or uses the data to do something. For example, me pressing the up key makes the player jump. The event would be pressing the up key, and the action would be jumping, which will set the player's vertical speed to a certain number, so it jumps. Okay, so that's the basics to understand about Construct2 programming. I'll come to that later, another episode, when we actually use the Construct2 event sheets and go into much more detail, but I wanted to address that before making any promises or anything like that. Okay, so that's it. I'll be covering most of the basics of Construct2 in the following days, probably months. I don't know how much time it would take me to actually do a full walkthrough of the program, but expect more videos to come. So if you like this video, you can leave a comment or a like. You can also subscribe if you want to see more of the videos coming, and other than that, Have a nice day.